Welcome back to the 2016 Trophy Awards. In part 1, we ranked the top 10 overall trophy lists with Uncharted 4 taking home the crown. In part 2, we ranked the top 10 most difficult platinum trophies, which surprisingly saw MLB 16 the show take the top spot. And in the final video of the 2016 Trophy Awards, we're going to take a look at the top 10 easiest platinum trophies from the past year. We will rank these in order using data at psnprofiles.com, which lists what percent of the players that have started the game and have ultimately earned the platinum. Now, much like every year since we started this series back in 2013, most of these games won't be familiar to you unless you're a real die-hard trophy hunter. These games are usually very quick to platinum as well, especially if you're following a guide. Now, before we jump into the 10 easiest platinums, I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the past year's easiest AAA games. AAA games won't generally ever make this type of list, and I know many of you typically only play these types of games. So here we go. Starting off here with Far Cry Primal at 33.84% of the people that have played the game have platinumed it. Followed closely by Ratchet & Clank, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, and surprisingly, Watch Dogs 2, and then Final Fantasy 15. Now that's actually very impressive at 22.81, considering it's a 60-hour platinum, so that's a pretty high percentage for that game. Now, many of you guys nominated those games because you don't play the obscure games that you're going to see in just a moment. Every game in the top 10 has been platinumed by over 80% of the total players who have played the game. There are many games that came very, very close to cracking the top 10, so I do want to shout out the following 8 games since they were so close, and given another month, we may have seen them make it in. And starting off here, Coffin Dodgers at 82.72%. That's an insanely high percentage. Followed by Clockwork Tales of Glass and Ink, The Bunker, which many of you guys nominated, Gemini, Heroes Reborn, which is a game which is much better than the TV show it's based on, followed by The Little Acre, Lara Croft Go, Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter, and the very well-received Hitman Go. Now, one last thing before we jump into the top 10, I want to take a quick second to recognize one game that doesn't make the list only because it's been completed by 44.58% of the players. But it is also one of the easiest games ever, and it's Batman, the Telltale series. It only doesn't make the list because not enough people have finished it, and that's all you need to do for the platinum is just finish the game. It's really simple. If you ever need an easy platinum, just find any Telltale game. So let's now jump into the top 10, and leading it off with Albedo Eyes from Outer Space with 83.54% of the players having achieved the platinum. This game, unfortunately, is one of the worst games on this list, but it can be platinumed in less than 3 hours with a guide. The game has terrible controls and awful physics, and I can't recommend this title to anyone except the most die-hard trophy hunters. It makes me wonder if the developers thought this was also a bad game as well, because they do something extremely rare with the trophies. They allow you to get the platinum before you even finish the game. Sitting at 83.61%, Rockets comes in at number 9. Not many have actually played this game, but it's certainly one of the quickest platinums on the list. It'll take you 1 to 2 hours to complete, as you'll earn most of the trophies without even trying, and it's even easier if you have an extra controller or 2 lying around. But there is one luck-based trophy that may take you a little longer to get than the rest. The appropriately named Lucky Trophy requires you to beat Stanley in a duel without shooting or ramming. If you can get that one trophy, you can easily get the platinum, and since this game has a high completion percentage, I'm guessing that it won't be too difficult for you. Number 8 is Jazzpunk with 83.89%. This is a quirky, comedic-based open-world adventure and puzzle game. This platinum trophy, while quick and easy, is actually enjoyable, especially when you compare it to more than the few games that are going to be on this list. Now, there is a multiplayer mode, but thankfully all of the trophies are within the single-player story. And this is a great trophy list too, because none of the trophies are actually part of the main story. They require you to find and do many little side activities, including talking to inanimate cardboard boxes, kissing people while wearing lipstick, and isn't that a thing we all like doing? And dialing various inappropriate 4-letter words into a telephone. It's one of those rare, easy platinum games that can be enjoyed by everyone. With 84.71%, Dead Synchronicity lands at number 7. This is a point-and-click adventure game, a short one because you'll platinum this in just a few hours, or just an hour if you follow a guide. However, most of the trophies are missable with no chapter select, so that could be a little bit obnoxious if you don't follow a guide. But you can create some manual save locations and load them back up and get anything you missed, or in the worst case scenario, even if you have to start over, the game can be completed so quickly. The biggest downside is the $20 price tag, so choosing to part with that cash might be the most difficult part about getting this platinum. Now this is also supposedly an episodic game, so maybe future parts will all have platinums as well. Imagine a telltale game where every episode contains a platinum, and that's what we might have here. One of the longest games to platinum in the top 10 is number 6's adventure puzzle game, Adam's Adventure Origins. At 84.73%, this easy game has only 15 total trophies, 10 of which are gold, and only 2 of them aren't story related. One of the trophies requires you to just stand still for 90 seconds. That leaves you basically one task that you have to do to get the platinum. As long as you can spin 3 globes at 3 locations, the platinum is yours. With chapter select, it'll be a piece of cake for you. There are going to be some puzzles which you may or may not find challenging, but there's always a solution to the puzzles available online. But this is actually a decent game that you may want to play without cheating yourself from the experience. Monster Jam Crush It is number 5. The Monster Jam series have typically always had easy platinums, but Monster Jam Crush It is the easiest of the bunch. It'll take about 3 to 5 hours to complete, but there isn't much of a challenge here. You'll find yourself needing to unlock vehicles, winning just 5 races, getting gold in each event type, and collecting 250 letters. And first you might be thinking, 250 collectibles? Well, yes, but there's 420 of them in the game, and they're very easy to spot, many of which literally can't be avoided. Some of the controls might feel a little clunky, and it may lack some of the gameplay of the previous entries in the series, but this is definitely an enjoyable platinum for the short time you have to spend with it. Number 4, Orc Slayer at 88.13% may be one of the most boring and repetitive 2 hours you'll ever spend with a game to get a platinum. You basically hold R2 the entire time and walk around shooting orcs with a crossbow. It feels like a horrible Steam early access game, and I'm really kind of disappointed to see games like this starting to invade our beloved PS4 storefront. If all you want is an easy platinum, then this game is right up your alley. There are 4 missable trophies, nothing difficult if you read up on them before starting your journey. The biggest challenge will be remaining conscious when you do reach the areas of the missable trophies. Orc Slayer is a game that only platinum hunters probably have ever purchased, which is why this has a high percentage. Number 3 is an incredibly quick platinum called Her Majesty's Spiffing, with a massive 90% of its players taking home the platinum. Easy and quick will always push a game high into the top 10 easiest platinum list. In fact, the top 3 games in this list, including this one, can all be platinumed in 2 hours. Her Majesty's Spiffing is another point-and-click adventure game, but I argue that this is actually probably the best on the list. I had an incredible fun time with it. It's incredibly short, but you will enjoy the time you spend with it. There are some kind of tricky trophies, but following a guide, for example, my very own full trophy guide walkthrough here on YouTube, and then you can platinum this in under an hour. On your own, you'll still be able to complete it in maybe 2 or 3 hours, nothing too difficult. It is, however, a bit overpriced. Now there are very few 90% platinum completion games, and there's still 2 more that were released in 2016 higher than this. Number 2, sitting at a monumental 96.46% is Nubla. This game, much like Her Majesty's Spiffing, is exploiting the ease of platinum for game sales. A trend started only a few months ago, and I'm curious if that'll continue into 2017. Now, this is a very short platforming puzzle game with puzzles that aren't that difficult. It actually does feature 11 missable trophies, 1 for each of the collectibles in the game, but all you need to do for the platinum is to find the 11 collectibles and finish the game. which you can do in 35-40 minutes. It is really simple, and this is another game where you can watch my entire full playthrough on my channel. A platinum run that I actually did live from start to finish, live here on YouTube. It's such a quick game that I'm still baffled as to why this even has a platinum trophy. Sony would never have allowed this a year ago. Speaking of things that Sony would never have previously allowed, and the easiest platinum of 2016 is, number 1, My Name is Mayo. How this even got a platinum trophy is way beyond me. The platinum is simple. Hit the X button to tap on a jar of mayonnaise over and over and over again, and that's basically all you need to do. This is the very definition of a cash grab. But if you have no shame on which games you platinum, then this game was developed for you. It also is cross-buy. If you have a Vita, you can platinum this game twice, with the fastest completion times falling under 10 minutes. Well, the average is actually going to be between 20 and 30 minutes. So worst case scenario, you're going to click on a bottle of mayo for half an hour. Oh, and did I mention it's only $1? That's right, $1, actually 99 cents. So 99 cents, cross-buy, 2 platinums. There you go. Now, for my European fans, I know a lot of you guys have reached out and said, this is not available on your store. Well, don't worry. It's coming your way in the next couple months. And My Name is Mayo will always be a meme amongst trophy hunters. Anytime that I say game X or game Y has an easy platinum, the first comment I always get is it My Name is Mayo easy? So congrats to Green Lava Studios for inventing a new difficulty level. It'll now be hard, medium, easy, and My Name is Mayo. So that's it, guys. That's the 2016 Trophy Awards. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the journey with me. In the next few months, we'll probably go back and take a look at all the PS4 games during its lifetime and rank those in order. But until then, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and of course, subscribe.